What's the word? What's the word? Ignore the facial features and all the struggles that you see concerning the facial features. Um, Going through a lot of shit right now. I've been hoping to make content. I lost a father. Um, I'm hoping to just do something other than have to go to a 9 to 5 because the situation itself for the 9 to 5 is just like a lot of shit going on. Motherfuckers dislike me, all types of shit, and that shit like from losing a father and understanding motherfuckers didn't have no sympathy for you while you was going through it, knowing that you kept telling them that your father was terminally ill and motherfuckers was still on some bullshit because they ain't like shit you say in your own personal space. Then you lose your father. Now you gotta go back to these unfair ass work conditions that they done made because they ain't like you or shit you saying. It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild, but that's not what I want to talk about. Put it out there. I just want to put it out there. Just state why I'm trying to just do this shit, make content, and anything other than I don't want to sell drugs or something, but something. But I want to talk about J Man. We both from Chicago, not from the same hood. He grew up around the trenches. He grew up. I was in the trenches too. But I was on 59th and Racine. They grew up around Normal, King Drive, 63rd, all the old block shit, the war. He grew up around the war, right? Growing up, my OG used to keep us from going towards that way. We had a little nigga who he used to stay on 61st and Peoria. I want to say Peoria, because Paulina is the other way, but I know it's another P when you go on towards that way. I don't know if I don't know if it's Prairie or Peoria, but it was whichever one was the furthest out of those two. 61st Prairie, 61st Peoria, whichever one was the furthest out of those two, that's where he used to stay. We used to walk over there. Whenever you want to kick it with him, whenever we get a chance to kick it with him, whenever the OG would say, yeah, it's okay, I guess she was just going by how she felt at the moment and what she heard because this is the time of the war, This is the time of the war. We ain't know nothing about it. We more or less lame. Folk who was once he wasn't lame, and he low key like interacted with everybody, so he probably knew about the trenches and knew about all that shit. But folk didn't feed into that shit. He wasn't on that shit. Folk was on some getting money shit. I say folk only because I grew up on 59th Racing. I grew up in that environment. You hear that shit. This is just Chicago lingo. There's a difference between folk and folk. But people know that if they're from Chicago. So she used to keep us out of there, knowing there was a war. We didn't know nothing about what was going on, but she knew the youngest was wild, going crazy. I mean, shooting shit up, body and shit, killing motherfuckers at young ages, 15, 16. So she was doing her best to protect us, and it worked. We wasn't a casualty of the war. I could at least say that. And it don't matter if you win it or not. Like the way shit was going back then. And we hear about the deaths. We hear about all that shit. And to us it was just like surreal because it's like damn, shit not really happening. It's like damn, these motherfuckers dying, but we still we didn't experience it firsthand. The most I experienced it firsthand, like I was on the football team, and I went to one of my guys' crib. I think it was like the O Block area. And for them they fake jumped the guy, my guy. But me being socially aware and I guess I wasn't that socially aware. I'll finish the story, but being socially aware, I knew that when they fake jumped him, it was just a joke. They was just playing, right? But because I was new there and he was more or less, he didn't help me fight, whatever this case may be. He didn't help me fight. So because I was new there, it's like, oh no, you gonna let him get jumped and not do nothing? Just to instigate him and talk shit to me. So at first it's a joke and I'm laughing with ha 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 ha. Nah, I know what's going on. Nah, oh, you ain't no shit. Ooh. You don't get jumped and not help. Tell me why damn near 30 niggas jumped me, bro. It was a real jumping and a fake jumping. Cause it's 30 niggas. Some of them niggas was actually punching me. Some of them niggas was fake punching me. It's 30 niggas. 30 niggas can't hit you all at the same time. So I must have just been like this while they was jumping me. And then like I get tired, I go, oh. So when I do that lame shit, they just start scattering like a monster just was. So like, oh hell no, that ain't crazy. It wasn't crazy. It was just, I'm getting jumped. I'm not just gonna get jumped. It's 30 of y'all. Like, come on now. This shit can't be real, and if it's real, then I'm gonna fight back. So when I got up and got ready to start swinging back, everybody ran away. Because at first I was just balling up. It's 30 niggas. First I was just balling up. But it was like real and fake. Like some niggas was actually punching me. Some niggas was fake punching me. It was horrible because God didn't stop none of that shit. You know your real friends when you're going through it. But that's my only experience ever being in the O Block. Yeah, who knows? It might have been some of the famous niggas who jumped me. But that's my only experience. And I want to talk about J Mane, bro, because before he grew up in the trenches. Right? He grew up with that shit. He know that shit. He got real pain from that shit, just like niggas on the other side got real pain from that shit. He made songs about the real pain and smoking dead opposite. And, you know, it was a recent shit I just watched, and they told him if that shit for real, take that shit down. So they kind of like got on that with him. They almost kind of like got on that with him. Like, I don't respect him. I want to slap the shit out of him. You feel me? You got to understand that. And you got to understand when somebody like Charleston White, other people question the sincerity of it. You got to understand what they're coming from. I want to give him all the credit in the beginning and in the end. What he's doing is right and righteous. Chicago is not a family-friendly place. And if you do any research on me, I was whooping. I'm going to use his lingo. I was whooping heavily in Chicago on some fan shit. On some fan shit. I was whooping heavily in Chicago. Research fan, all capital letters. But only because it wasn't a family-friendly environment. I come to a different state that's completely family-friendly, and it's like I don't feel comfortable whooping like that over here. I don't feel comfortable moving like that over here. It's too family-friendly. There's kids everywhere. I ain't on that for real, you know? Chicago is not family-friendly. It's different. What he's doing is righteous. What he's doing is just, and it's very needed. The idea that people are talking about is understandable and acceptable because you done made songs dissing these people. You done made songs dissing people. Even if you take it down, which they actually do, your last previous shit, even if you take it down, a year ain't too long ago. You know, to be like, yeah, this year has changed me. When there was somebody else who told you to stop rapping, from what I could tell from the last interview that you was on with Say Cheese, and somebody else gave you the advice to stop rapping, and you stop rapping, and then you get on some I'm gonna push the P shit, and you be like, this year has changed me. A year ain't too far ago, man. It ain't too long ago. So to be like that, especially when you got songs talking about going to the O and still dissing in that song, it's kind of like a slap in their face. When people said why you didn't wear the chain, you shouldn't listen to them niggas. Don't wear that fucking chain. That's a heavy slap in the face. And I'm pretty sure you could understand that on the outside looking in or retrospectively. I'm pretty sure you can understand that. That's a heavy slap in the face. Because not only you still got these videos up, and you talking about pushing peace, you make a motion with Dirk because of this shit, but Dirk might have his own agenda as well, which is what somebody else was saying in the motherfucking interview. Wearing that chain there is a heavy slap in the face. Because not only to the motherfuckers who really in it, it's like you looking at them like they're a bitch, and they won't snatch your chain. Not only does it look like that to them, the motherfuckers who trying to help you push the piece, it still look like you got the audacity to wear that motherfucking chain, and You made money for this pushing peace movement, and we still don't even know if this shit is sincere or not. Like when a motherfucker asked you if it was sincere in the interview, when he said it's what the people want to hear, he wasn't lying. It's what we want to hear. So you gonna go to not answering that question legitimately. You didn't say how it's sincere. You didn't say what it means to you. Yeah, you said the good aspects of it, which is all great positive shit. We do need an environment where these kids could grow up and not have to worry about dying. We do need an environment where kids can grow up and not be resentful and scornful and get back into the trenches, into the wars, and shoot up more shit and kill more people. We do need that. But you're not saying what it means to you and why it matters to you other than all we see is the internet. All we see is, you getting big from pushing peace. That's what we see. And I'm a lame ass nigga. This is why I rap. But then once it got to a point and I realized what it was and I realized the shit I was saying was like, I'm not really like that. I'm not for the God, no shit, none of that shit. I had to stop rapping. I had to be like, it's not for me, bro. Unless I'm rapping about some other shit or I'm rapping about some I'll fucking bitch shit. Like, other than that, it's not for me because it's not really what I'm on type shit. So that chain was a slap in the face. And to the motherfuckers who trying to get behind it, it's like all we see is you blowing up from pushing peace, and now you coming with the fruits of your labor, literally. Literally the fruits of your labor. Because it's the Whoops. The Whoops is a fruity cereal. Anyway. It's not necessarily a diss, bro. And for you to have that reaction and get aggressive and angry when anybody asks you that in any kind of way, because of course you didn't have that reaction on O Block. I just watched it. But you did have that reaction when Rain asked you. So it's not necessarily a diss. It's not necessarily no. It's actually what we want to know. Like, what does it mean to you? What the guy who's trying to ask you on your last shit was, why does it matter now to you? Because you're trying to see if it's really, you got to search your own soul and ask yourself this. Is this really some internet shit, some internet cloud shit, and this how you get big? Because this seems like what the reason you was rapping for, right? About smoking dead ops and all that shit that's still up there. And I don't know if it's still up there when I post this. I don't know if he'll take it down or not. That's really not the point. The point is why you doing this just for the money? Because we see it's getting you money. You coming with the fruits of your labor to the motherfucking and it's like, okay. So is what you doing really for real? Because a year ain't too long ago, you was just dissing the dead. So is this shit for real? Or is this shit like another tactic, you know? Now, to what you were saying when it was like, we don't want to talk about it because we don't want the kids to grow up with that resentment. That's understandable. That's understandable. That's completely understandable. But there's two sides to that shit, right? You don't want to talk about it because the more you talk about it, the more it becomes real in your head. It's like with me with the shit I'm going through. The more I think about how it's unfair and shit, and taking anybody loved one from them is an unfair feeling. The more you think about it, the more angry you get. The more angry you get, the more you want to be on that with somebody. You feel me? And like I said, I know it's the same for you too. It's just not like you just doing a U-turn. And I know there's like subtle intricacies throughout the whole thing. So this is why you need to really explain what it really means to you, other than the superficial shit of let's make a better community. Even if that's what it really means to you, break down why. Like, we need to know because you know how I look to niggas from Chicago because you're from Chicago. A lot of you just some internet clout shit. We don't want the kids to grow up with that narrative and that anger for real. But these things actually happen. These things are real. And the people who suffering from it and have suffered from it need validation. And it need to be brushed off like this shit didn't happen, Especially with the songs and shit. So I'm gonna try to get on that with your ass towards the end of the function. I'm glad you kept that in there, but we need to see it all. We need to see it all, bro. And we need to see it all because that's the only way it'll get better, in my opinion. But also, they don't need to have that anger in their hearts growing up. So That's to your credit. I understand what you're saying there. It's a very tricky situation. And we need in some shit like this, we need to know you sincere, because to the majority of people it looks like it's just for the money. To the majority of motherfuckers, it look like just for the money, especially niggas from Chicago. It's like, are you doing this because you getting paid from it? You subtly mentioned how much it means to you a couple times when you was talking about how, look, I'm on stage with Dirk now. Mama, look at me. That's like, okay, being on stage with Dirk means something to you, so that means you feel like you blowing up from this pushing peace movement. Like, hate to be this critical nigga, but that's just how I look at shit, because, from the trenches for real. It takes a certain mind to be able to survive there. Man, stay out of shit. Mind your business. Like Burn Post said in one of his videos that I recently watched. I be big on watching the Chicago shit, but I'm low key. I'm high key infamous in Chicago for anybody who knew me from 2017 to 2021 and what I was on. I'm high key infamous. It wasn't no gang banging shit. It was some fan shit. But I'm low key. I'm high key a nobody. And high key infamous, but low key famous too. Like, I'm still a nobody. My name don't ring bells for real. But when folks see my face and they can put two and two together and think about situations, and they could be like, oh yeah, but mostly it'll probably be females for real. But the whole pushing peace shit, man, we need to know it's sincere, bro. And I say we like I'm from the trenches, but I'm just saying that from the perspective of, you already know, because you know how it was. You know how it would look to you if you was on the other side, right? If you was low key, still living above the poverty line, barely, or under the poverty line, and this nigga that's blowing up now, who still got disses from a year ago, talking about smoking all the motherfuckers who you grew up with, come to this motherfucking place with $100,000 chain, talk about push a piece. You know how it would look to you, bro. I ain't really trying to get on J-Man ass, because we need somebody. We need somebody who'll change what's going on in Chicago, bro. It's sad, bro. It's sad as fuck. It's a certain look. Like, even with Vaughn from 1700, right? There's two things about him, right? And J-Man touched on him. He said how he really official and legitimate and shoot shit up. There's two things about it, right? He said himself he was a lame to 17. 17 is usually way too late to jump off the porch. But he said he jumped off the porch at 17. But he jumped down there, from what we could tell. He jumped right into the shark-infested waters. He jumped right into the murders and the killings. So it's like, damn. You see that lame in his face, right? You see that lame in his face that was playing games till he was 17. And then you could see that look that everybody from Chicago got, bro. It's a tired look. It's a sad look. It's a evil look. It's an angry look. You know? That everybody from Chicago got. You see that. So you kind of see both of them. And he's in the waters now, so it's like, damn. Another one lost, you know. Hopefully, maybe one day he'll come around and be on some pushing peace shit, man. Who knows? But would motherfuckers even listen to him if he was shooting shit up and on that shit for real? And I don't know if J-Man was or wasn't on that shit for real. But I do know the videos. He was dissing the dead, all that shit. This is just for my love for Chicago itself. Because, like I said, I'm a nobody on the internet. No kid, nobody. For real in Chicago. Plus, my motherfucking appearance is rough. Just my love for Chicago, and hopes that this pushing peace shit is successful, bro. But understanding why people will treat it certain kind of ways, you know. I love y'all, man. Deuces.